Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Have You Got 10 Minutes podcast with me, Nikki Tapper. I'll be chatting with household names from business, sport, music, TV, film, and because they're busy people, hence the title. We'll get a snippet of how they got into their present careers, what they're currently up to, and their favourite music track. So let's talk to this episode's guest, financial advisor, TV personality, Emmanuel Asuquo. So Emmanuel, or E-Man for short, have you got 10 minutes?
Of course, Nikki. Anything for you.
I so appreciate it. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. I'm going to go, though, with the pet name, the street name, E-Man, if that's okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It makes it feel normal.
Real and authentic. Real. Yes. Oh, brilliant. Yes. Great. Thank you. And I know that, you know, seeing you on television, it was such a joy, so refreshing to hear what I would say an everyday Black British African origin man talking about money in a way that you could understand it. And I know that, again, you had a dream because of where you were living, right? You looked across to the kind of money area of London and said, yeah, I'm going to be working there one day. Am I right with that?
You're perfectly right, as always. Of course, yeah, that was me. That I used to grow up on a council estate in East London, Tower Hamlets, which is known, if you know Tower Hamlets, that part of London, it's quite a deprived area. But we have a little jewel in the area that is Canary Wharf. And I used to look out my window at the buildings in Canary Wharf and say, you know, one day I got to be there, because guess what? They could leave the lights on. You know, I don't know about any of your other listeners, but I used to get in trouble if I left the light in the kitchen and forgot to switch it off and walked out. My parents would go mad, because obviously when you haven't got a lot of money, leaving the lights on, those money's being wasted. So I used to look out the window and be like, these lot can waste loads of money. They leave their lights on all these floors, all these buildings, and the lights are on. So I said, I got to get over there. And I made it happen.
And you truly made it happen. And you're right, all of those practical ways of so many people that they've had to live, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul, making, you know, £10 stretch for 4 years. What's it could feel like? You know, that way you showing your advice around money came about. I mean, tell us a little bit more about then when it did happen and you ended up working for one of the biggest retail banks. What was that experience like, and what was it about money and financial advice that whetted your appetite so much that now you've become a household name about it?
Yeah, I mean, working for the bank I did, it was an amazing experience. You know, it's just a different life to what you expect, what your normal every day, the types of people I was meeting, the type of clients I was helping. But I realized I wasn't having the type of impact I wanted to, because I felt a lot of my clients, well, you already have money, you already have a good business or a great job, or you're already doing well in life. So all I'm doing is helping you get richer. And I just felt that I needed to help people that came from a similar background to me. And it just felt that financial advice in the UK at that time was just aimed at high net worth individuals. And that meant that the average person that came from a background like myself couldn't get financial advice. And I saw that problem and I wanted to change it. So, you know, I went online. It was very difficult. You know, I was the only Black person in my team. And even in the company, there wasn't many of us. So you felt like I was the youngest as well, because like I said, I was only 22 when I started. The average age was around 45, 50. So, you know, everybody could be my mum or dad. And it was very difficult. And then even the clients, most of the clients that they saw were more elderly clients who, you know, 50 plus. So what's this 22-year-old going to tell someone who's 50 plus what they should do to invest their money or so forth? There were loads of different barriers that could have stopped me, but I was so determined to achieve. And once I had learned this knowledge, I feel like when you hear people's stories and see the lives people are living and the difference that financial education and just making the right investments have made, I just felt like I couldn't keep this secret to myself. I had to go out there and share it with people who needed it the most, who are the everyday working person. So that's why I went on social media, I went online and just shared it in a fun and entertaining way. Because before me, I'm going to tell you, like, finance was very in a suit and tie. God forbid you dare try and talk about finance without wearing a suit and wearing a tie and, you know, talking like you've just come out of Oxford or Cambridge University. And so for me, I wanted to make it very fun, very relatable, very down to earth, and people liked it.
Yeah, they definitely so. And you mentioned, people that look like you and where you're from. You're of Nigerian heritage. So just tell us a little bit about that as well for you, because many people may have the assumption that, especially from the African countries, Nigeria is probably the most popular, not say most popular, but the most well known, or at least everybody knows of a Nigerian. And there will
I
be,
think everything you said was correct. The most popular, the most well known, the most loved, the best gender, everything that you just said was correct.
oh, brilliant. And so with that, for your parents, who I'm sure, as so many, including, my parents who came kind of the Windrush generation and
Yeah.
beyond, with an aspiration to say they need to do better. And so where they ended up where they were, as you said, in a council flat, that probably wasn't top of the list.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't at all. And you leave your country, and like I said, my parents. It's not that they had a bad life in Nigeria. I mean, my dad had a good job. They had drivers and people that worked for them, and they were doing well. And at that time, the naira and the pound were equal. So when they came over here, they felt like, life was going to change, and they came for an opportunity. They felt like, there was an opportunity here that they could grow and so forth. But they had to start at the bottom and, deal with a lot of things. So, the way they were living and their experience was very, very hard. But I think, some of these things, they motivate you, they empower you, they give you a will and a drive that maybe the average person who grew up with these things being normal wouldn't appreciate. Whereas someone who is now coming and seeing the opportunity and has left their whole family and everything they know and their comfort zone to try and make this work, they're just going to work a lot harder than the average person. And I feel like that was instilled in me, even if you're not the smartest, people might be smarter than you, but they can't outwork you. And, that effort and energy has always been part of my life, is to just make sure that I keep working hard. And I think that comes from my parents making that sacrifice and that being brave enough to make that jump to the UK.
Yeah, definitely. And now, you're doing that in a sense with your own children. You've got this new book out. If you haven't heard before, it was really because I got a copy of your Get Your Money Right, which is the book you brought out last year, I think, wasn't it? Or the year before?
Yes, that's
last
correct.
year.
Last year, yeah.
Which genuinely helped. I still may not have done everything in the book yet. However, it was a really good insight into and a real practical way of helping me understand what I'm doing with money. And as I talk about you, wanting to pass on your knowledge, not just to the everyday person, but to your own children, you've brought out a new book, haven't you, for children, or at least to help parents educate their children.
Yes, exactly. So we've got the ultimate guide to money, which the premise is the child will get £1, and if they make the right decisions, we give them different lessons in each chapter. At the end of each chapter, they've got a decision to make. If they make the right decision, they'll grow that money. If they make the right decision throughout the whole book, that £1 will turn into £1,000,000. And it's just an adventure. It's just about giving kids the energy and getting them to really understand the value of money. I think, it's great to give kids money and then they go and spend it on sweets and so forth. But when you actually teach kids that money's not just a tool to buy stuff, it's actually a tool to make more money. And actually, they really appreciate money when they've worked for it and understand the value of it. And it's great to have these money conversations. Sometimes I'd meet parents and they're like, how do I talk to my kids about money? It's like, well, you can, read this book. They can have fun. You can have fun reading it. They're going to ask you questions. You can answer the questions and grow and learn together. And then you can go out and pick one of these ideas and go and see if you can make some money together.
Excellent. I wish it was there for me when I had my daughter. It's now nearly 25, so possibly not any. Well, no, there's always advice. You can learn. I think that's the joy of how you come across, Eman. Whether you're 26 or 76, you can still learn and be able to do something with the money that we're blessed to have. Look, as I said, this is because you're a busy man and we only have a short period of time together. Of course, the book is the new thing, so you're going to be pushing that going through the rest of the year. What else have you got planned?
Yeah, we've got loads of stuff planned. Obviously, I'm going to do a book tour, so I'm going around different schools throughout the country, spreading the news. We've got talks, we've got seminars, we've got potential TV shows. We've got so much lined up. Just keep watching, keep following, keep supporting, and I will keep educating you all on money and finance.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And the last thing I want to ask you, as I've been asking all my guests, is what's then a piece of music that you turn to, that you love to have or play, that give you a little bit of a boost and a little bit of a nice vibe for the day?
I think I'm going to go with Marvin Sapp, Never Would Have Made It. I feel like that is a song that when I really want encouragement and feel like I need empowering, that is a song I turn to.
Wow. Well, that is a joy to know. And I will make sure that's added to the Have You Got 10 Minutes playlist on Spotify. I will encourage all of you to go listen to that. But for now, Emmanuel Asuquo, thank you very much. And thank you for being my 10 Minutes guest for this episode.
Thanks for having me, Nikki.
Many thanks then to my guest for this episode, Emmanuel Asuquo. Please do check him out on social media platforms. Look for the E-Man Effect UK or his full name, Emmanuel Asuquo. Do the same for me, Nikki Tapper, Nikkitapper. And thanks for listening to this episode of Have You Got 10 Minutes? Have You Got 10 Minutes is a podcast produced and presented by me, Nikki Tapper, for NT Events Limited and Nikki Tapper Limited.